Good morning. Happy Friday. Glad you're here today. Hope you are having a good start to the morning. I just realized I have a really blank wall right here and I should have put something up there. I will have to think of that next time. If you want to pop in the chat and say hello and where you're tuning in from this morning, that would be lovely. And then tell us also some little random fact, such as how cold it is where you are today. So here in Kansas City, it is a grand total of 17 degrees outside, which is perfect quilting weather. My sister is coming home from Mexico today, which seems like a poor choice. But they left, she and her husband left last week just as the snow was starting to hit. And they're coming home just in time for it to reach 5 degrees tonight. So, oopsie. But anyway, that should be, hopefully we'll get warmer sometime soon. But in the meantime, we'll all just quilt. So last time I shared a few personal projects that I'm working on just for fun and wanted to just give a little update today on where those are at, what's going on with them. I was a little bit behind on my Farmer's Wife blocks, my Farmer's Wife 1930 sampler quilt blocks. I'm trying to do one a week, and I do have 3 done now. So I can't remember if I showed this one last week or not, but I'm doing foundation paper piecing for these because they have these teensy tiny little triangle pieces. So I finished this one. This one I completed this week. These little, this is purple. I don't know if it shows up very well in the light, but it's a really nice little purple. It looks gray right now to me, so hopefully it's better for you. These little blocks are like 3/4 of an inch, so they're super tiny. And then this block I really hate, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. It looks like somebody vomited up a bunch of colors. Here it is. I love the colors. It's like a bright orange and yellow and that kind of thing in good light. And I think I don't have good light here this morning. And then this is a nice red also, but I used this as a background and I won't be doing that again. So my plan is that this is going to blend in with all the other colorful blocks that are coming down the line. And if it doesn't, when I'm laying everything out, I'm just going to go ahead and redo that. So anyway, just wanted to share that. I am also working on finishing up the mini quilt for the quilt swap from the gluten-free quilter. And I'm working on binding right now, but my swap partner that I was assigned really likes bright colors and really likes, Tulip Pink, Ruby Star Society. I don't have a lot of those fabrics. And I tend toward more muted, like pastelish colors. So it was a little bit of a challenge to find bright colors. I think last time I said I was going to do a foundation paper piecing project, I decided I had to switch that up because I'm a little slow at foundation paper piecing, and this has a deadline. And it's not till February, like mid to late February, but I got this ready to go this week. Sorry, trying to get in the camera here. It's a colorful little star block with some fabric from my stash. I really had to dig through to make sure I was finding vibrant colors. And I did find some Tula to go on the back side. So I have some Tula backing back here. So that was kind of fun. And so that's kind of the update. And the other thing I don't think I had in the last live was the super cute pattern I'm working on, a block of the month through Casey Maker Studio, which is Show and Tell. This is an Elizabeth Hartman pattern. Look at these little animals holding up their quilt blocks. They're so cute. So we'll be doing 1 block a month for this and finishing it up hopefully this year. I might finish it in 3 years. You never know. So what I was going to kind of chat about today is how to prioritize your works in progress to make sure that you're getting the right ones done at the right times and that you have a direction to move forward with. So that comes out of the survey that was completed, that the 2026 survey, what people want to see coming up from Wild Plum Lane in 2026 is that a lot of people want to finish their works in progress. So what I wanted to share was the simple work in progress inventory that I have in my freebies section. I am going to be sending this out in the newsletter on Sunday. So if you don't have easy access to that link, it's coming straight to your email if you're on the email list. But what is great about this is that it's so super simple. Like you're just putting down the name of the project, the status right now, and the immediate next step. And so that helps kind of helps you figure out where you need to go next and give you a little direction to move forward. What I wanted to go through today is how to prioritize which one of these you want to work on. So I talked about this a little bit on the podcast, a kind of a 3-step method to prioritize your projects. So if you've listened to it there, just maybe bear with me while I repeat it here. But I thought it was a really, it's a kind of a helpful framework to get forward progress moving on your projects. So, because we all have multiple projects going on, or many of us have multiple projects going on. So if you do, and it feels like everything needs to be done at once, but it doesn't. And so this framework helps prioritize where to start. So the first way to prioritize, kind of make your list, which projects you're working on. But the best way to choose what you're working on first is if there's any deadlines. Do you have a baby shower, a wedding, a birthday, a holiday coming up that you want to gift a quilt for? Those are good ones to put at the top of the list and get them knocked off, because you don't want to be working at 3 a.m. the night before. I know I don't want to be to get those finished. That can help reduce that overwhelm, and that is actually why I worked on my mini quilt this week that I showed you. If you were on then the mini quilt that I'm working on for my mini quilt swap, because that one has a deadline. So I got that one done and knocked off the list so that it's ready to send out when we're supposed to send those out. So deadlines, first prioritization method. So the second is to choose one that's close to the finish line. So if you have a project that is, just needs binding, or if it just needs to be quilted, or needs a label added, something like that. If you've got something that's super close to the finish line, that's another great place to prioritize, because once you get a little forward momentum going and get some projects knocked off the list, it feels really good and you want to do the next one. So that's another way to help get some projects going and knock them off the work in progress list. And then third, method for prioritization is what is inspiring to you right now. So do you have some fabric that you really want to work with? Do you have a pattern that's speaking to you? Do you have a quilt swap or a quilt along that you are enjoying? And so that's a great way to, figure out what you want to work on next. So you can put those projects, your deadline projects, your projects you're feeling inspired about, the ones that are really close to the finish line, put those on your simple WIP inventory. And then you can go through and scan through, determine maybe just the top 3 that you would like to get working on and get completed. And so once you get those crossed off the list, you can go back to the 3-step method and start all over again and try again, or not try again, but go ahead and pick your next 3 to work on and keep the progress moving forward. So the best step to make progress is to have a direction to move forward. And that's what this little prioritization process kind of helps create. So today, I don't have a lot of other things. I just wanted to walk through that method for prioritizing works in progress. I am open for questions if you want to pop them in the chat or say hello and where you're from. I know at the start of the live, I asked people to chat about where they're tuning in from and what the temperature is outside, because it's cold here. And I know it's cold in a lot of places right now. So if you're somewhere warm, we would love to know. So as we kind of wrap up here, I know last week, Cindy asked if I could create a video about, hi, Cindy, how are you? You do have a question. Thank you for popping that in there. Do you use a special quilting planner or calendar? It helps for me to see the whole month at a glance. So I use a variety of things, actually. So I put anything where I have a place I have to be into my Google Calendar. And that provides me with, when I have free time and when I need to be somewhere else. So I have a little bit of digital element to my planning system, but then I also have a paper planner where I write out the day's tasks. I have a monthly view and a weekly view, so that I can figure out where the pieces are that I can fit in some quilting time, if that makes sense. I know in the the Quilters Planner or the Life Plus Quilts Planner, I do have monthly, weekly, and daily views in like 3 different formats so that people can use what works best for them. Um, so I do use all 3 like monthly, weekly, daily layouts when I'm planning. Um, and that's helpful for me. Does that answer your question, I hope? Okay, well, I'm gonna head back to chatting about. Oh yes, oh good, that answers your question, Cindy. Thank you. Last week you asked about the envelope closure for pillows, and I did not, or not last week, last time we were on here. I have not had a chance to get to that yet, but I would want you to know that it is on the to-do list for the next 2 weeks. I've been busy preparing February's mailing for the pattern project and that kind of thing. So there wasn't a lot of extra time for all the scripting and filming and editing and all that good stuff, but it's on the list for the next 2 weeks. So I'm hopeful that it will be live before our next live. My plan is to do lives the second and fourth Fridays of the month at 10 a.m. So I will have those up in the, the live section on my YouTube channel, ready to tune in at those times. So I think that's all that I have today. If you have any other questions, you can pop them in the chat, or I am sure there's other things that you need to get to today. And I really appreciate you tuning in. All right. Well, we will wrap up today. Have a good one, everybody. Happy quilting. Bye.